Guys, the next thing that we're going to talk about with Antonio Brown here is everything on Twitter, because there's a whole lot. There's an entire Bruce Arians statement. Like he did a long segment, actually. He talked for like 2 minutes, which was surprising for Bruce Arians standards. I kind of expected him to tell everyone to shut the fuck up. He did after the game. After the game, they're like, what happened to Antonio Brown? He was like, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the guys who impacted this game. Let's first pull up Antonio Brown's account from his lawyer. It's on Adam Schefter's Twitter. All right, boys. So we know that there is a ton of stuff going on with Antonio Brown right now. This is his full statement via his attorney, and this is basically the text that your ex-girlfriend sends you after you guys broke up. This fucker is long. I don't want to like meme it too hard, but I really do think his attorney should have advised him to shorten this. But hey, whatever. At least we get the full story, so I like it. Let's see this. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to the Bucks, fans, and my teammates. The Bucks helped me return to productive football after I had difficulties that could have ended my career. We worked together to resolve those difficulties, and I will always appreciate that. Being part of a Super Bowl champion team and then a contender is a dream come true. I make mistakes, I'm working on myself, and I have positive influences around me. But one thing I don't shy away from is playing hard on the field, and no one can accuse me of not giving it my all every play. Because of my commitment to the game, I relented to pressure directly from my coach to play injured. Despite the pain, I suited up. The staff injected me with what I know now is a powerful and sometimes dangerous painkiller that the NFLPA has warned against using, and I gave it my all for the team. I played until I was clear that I could not use my ankle to safely perform my playing responsibilities. On top of that, the pain was extreme. I took a seat on the sidelines and my coach came up to me very upset and shouted, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I told him, "It's my ankle," but he knew that. It was well documented and we had discussed it. He then ordered me to get on the field. I said, "Coach, I can't." He didn't call for medical attention. Instead, he shouted at me, "You're done," while he ran his fingers across his throat. Coach was telling me that if I didn't play hurt, then I was done with the Bucks. I didn't quit, I was cut. I didn't walk away from my brothers, I was thrown out. Being fired on the sideline for having a painful injury was bad enough. Then came their spin. Coach denied on national television that he knew about my ankle. That's 100% inaccurate. Not only did he know I missed several games with the injury, he and I exchanged texts before the game where he clearly acknowledged my injury. He obviously knew I was on the injury list, and the GM acknowledged after the game in text messages to my camp that I did tell Coach about my ankle pain on Sunday. Let's move to the next slide. I know we were losing to the Jets, and that was frustrating for all of us. That's a pretty fucking good sentence right there. You can't argue with that.
For real.
But I could not make football plays on that ankle. Yes, I walked off of the field, but there's a major difference between launching from the line and taking hits compared to jogging off the field with a rush of emotions going through your mind. Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that. I'm reflecting on my reaction, but there was a trigger. The trigger was someone telling me that I'm not allowed to feel pain. I acknowledge my past, but my past does not make me a second-class citizen. My past does not forfeit my right to be heard when I am in pain. First, they cut me, now they cage me. Instead of asking how I felt or getting to the bottom of it, the team texted my camp promoting a totally false narrative that I randomly acted out without any explanation. They even told us in writing, "Don't spin this any other way." I have stress, I have things I need to work on, but the worst part of this has been the Bucks' repeated effort to portray this as a random outburst. They're telling people that first I walked off, then I was cut. No, I was cut first and then I went home. They threw me out like an animal and I refused to wear their brand on my body, so I took my jersey off. As part of their ongoing cover-up, they're acting like I wasn't cut and now demanding that I see a doctor of their choice to examine my ankle. What they did not know until now is that on Monday morning, I had an urgent MRI on my ankle. It shows broken bone fragments stuck in my ankle, the ligament from the bone, and cartilage loss, which are beyond painful. You can see the bone bulging from the outside, but that must and can be repaired. The MRI has been read by 2 top orthopedic surgeons in New York City, including Dr. Martin O'Malley at Hospital for Special Surgery. Not realizing that I'd already scheduled at HSS, the Bucks ordered me under penalty of discipline and with few hours notice to show up to a more junior doctor for another opinion. What a joke. They're playing like I wasn't cut, giving me a surprise attack order to show up to another doctor with no reasonable notice, and setting this whole thing up as a basis to cut me because what they did on Sunday was not legitimate. Sorry, GM, I already received a confirming opinion from the top doc of the hospital you ordered me to go to. I love the fans, I really do. I love my teammates and everyone who showed me grace and believed in me. I gave the Bucks everything I had on the field. What the organization is doing now needs to get cleaned up. I do not understand how people publicly claiming to be concerned about my mental health can do these things to me in private. Once my surgery is complete, I'll be back to 100% and looking forward to next season.
Yeah, dude.
Business gonna be booming.
Holy shit.
That is a massive state. I take it back. Actually, I take back my opinion at the start. I'm really glad he included all of that. That is a lot. of information.
That was really good.
Let's start with the pros, and then let's move to the cons from this statement. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
So if we can flick back to the first page.
I do like, sorry to interrupt. I do like this comment right here. This is, it's got like maybe a little bit of an overview of it, but there's always two sides to it. So
yeah. So in that bottom right, there's a reply. This is the most liked reply on Twitter here. So what it seems like is they kept him from seeing a doctor for his injury, tried to force him to play, and then when he quit, they used his previous reputation to frame the situation as AB being unreasonable, disgusting. I stand with Antonio Brown. That guy looks slightly biased. His name is Quintonio Brown on Twitter. But it's a good summary.
What really screwed Antonio Brown in this situation is just how he handled it. I mean,
absolutely.
If he would have never stormed off the field like that, and he would have just, sat on the sideline, or even just walked out.
Yeah.
Left his shit on and just, walked out, but he, made it this huge thing. I think it really fucked with just his look. It
absolutely fucked, especially because people have, this 36-hour window to make memes and jokes and, CTE everything. Yeah. What Antonio Brown is displaying here, from his point of view, is he wasn't going back in the game because he was hurt. They were trying to make him. And then Bruce Arians came over and said, dude, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, coach, I can't play. And he's like, no, fuck you. You're fired. So it's kind of actually ambiguous. And it sounds like Bruce Arians actually agrees with that point. If you could scroll up and click right back on his statement so that we can look at it while we're talking about this. But it actually looks like Bruce Arians completely agrees with this statement. The statement where Antonio Brown says, coach, I can't play. And instead he shouted at me, you're done, while he ran his finger across his throat. So it sounds like Bruce Arians agrees, because Bruce Arians said, when I spoke with Antonio Brown, I was trying to figure out why he wasn't going into the game. He just said, fuck it, he's done. They have a different account of what was said. Bruce Arians says that Antonio Brown just said, fuck it, I'm not getting targets, I don't want to play.
Right.
And it sounds like Antonio Brown saying, no, coach, I'm hurting, I don't want to play. So Bruce Arians just said, fuck you, you're done. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear it. Here's a scenario that is possible where they are both correct. It could have been that Antonio Brown was pissed about the targets he was getting, and at halftime he was bitching about it.
Right.
Bruce Arians heard that, they handled it, it was all done. Then in the third quarter, Antonio Brown actually feels like his ankle is hurting. However, Bruce Arians sees Antonio Brown bitching again and thinks that Antonio Brown doesn't want to go back into the game because he's not getting targets, when in reality, Antonio Brown is doing a poor job of communicating that his ankle isn't working. So when Bruce Arians going, what the fuck, get in the game. And he's like, coach, I'm not getting in the game.
Right.
He's not communicating that his ankle's hurt. All Bruce Arians thinks is he being a fucking diva.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Arians like, fuck it, you're fired, bud. I don't care what you have to say anymore.
Yeah.
And now you've got miscommunication. They both could be right. Both of their stories could be correct. The problem then comes is it's basically, at that point, it's really ambiguous. What is Antonio Brown supposed to do next? If Bruce Arians says, fuck it, you're done, but you're in the middle of a football game, what do you do? I think the level-headed, calm decision where you don't have a ton of drama is you sit your ass on the bench.
Yeah, you just chill.
You wait till things are over. You talk to somebody in the organization, say, hey, what's the next best plan of attack? Because one thing that I do fully disagree with here in Antonio Brown's statement, if you could go to the second page here. This part I really didn't like. They threw me out like an animal and I refused to wear their brand on my body, so I took my jersey off. This I couldn't disagree with more. Antonio Brown is painting this picture that he was cut and just thrown out by the Bucks, and they just said, fuck you. It's so clear from all the video evidence. There was not a single person in the Bucks organization that was attempting to get Antonio Brown out of there.
Right, they weren't escorting
him. There
was
nobody escorting him out. In fact, it was actually the opposite. Mike Evans was trying to calm him down.
Yeah.
Mike Evans was like, bro, this is a bad decision. Put your fucking jersey back on. Don't do this.
To me, he just took it way over the top. He's like, the coach is like, you're done. So he's just instantly, he's like, he kicked me off the team. Is that's what he thinks. Yeah. And he's like, I need to get out of here. He just was not rationally thinking at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a heated, emotional moment.
Yeah. I mean, anyone rationally thinking right there, you're just like, okay, I'm going to just chill here. Mm-hmm. Then you go up to your coach in 5 minutes and you guys fucking talk about it.
Right.
Then you get back on the field. Or if your ankle's actually fucked up, then that's where you're hoping the coach understands that. Or maybe in this situation, maybe he's like, you're fucking playing or you're out. So that's the two sides of the story. That
absolutely.
I don't know if we'll ever truly know how it actually went down.
We make such a good point. This is a great statement. It feels very believable.
Yeah.
But it's Antonio Brown.
Right.
He's fucked himself. He actually has fucked himself, dude. I think if this was not only any other player on the Buccaneers, but almost any other player in the league, there's very few players in the league where this statement comes out and I go, and I look at it and I go, oh, fuck, I don't know if I can believe this. I think Antonio Brown is probably the number one guy where I don't know if I can believe it.
Yeah.
After that, who would you say else? I really don't even think there's that many
players. Who you couldn't believe?
Who you might not believe.
Ooh.
I think if Chase Claypool came out of the statement, I might be like, all right, dude.
I literally was going to say that.
Fuck off.
Ah, damn, for real. That's why that's what I was saying in the beginning. It's like I'm like not even very surprised that this happened.
No,
because he's there. There's just always some bullshit going around about him.
Here's the second point I would like to make, and this is my other point that does go against Antonio Brown. It seems almost too coincidental that this huge cover-up conspiracy, horrible actions by the Buccaneers happen to happen against Antonio Brown. Not only that, but I do think it's unbelievable, not entirely unbelievable, but I think it's difficult to believe that the Buccaneers actually gave that much of a shit about him playing.
Right.
I hate to be rude. I think he's an incredibly talented wide receiver, but this isn't the playoffs. Yeah, it would suck to lose to the Jets, but it's just not a pinnacle game. Tom Brady's still your quarterback. You're still the Buccaneers. You're going to win some games. You're going to lose some games. You lost to the Saints 0-9. Yeah. That's frustrating. Nothing happened in that game. I just find it difficult to believe that Bruce Arians and the Buccaneers organization actually had it in their mind that we don't give a fuck that Antonio Brown is hurt. We need him to play because we absolutely must win this game at all costs.
Yeah.
You're already down 14. You're a talented wide receiver, but you're not the quarterback. It's not like this is Tom Brady. You're not that impactful. You're impactful, but you're not that impactful. There's still 20 other guys on the football team. You got 11 on defense, 10 others on offense, and you got backup wide receivers who play good ball. So I do think that it's possible, but the conspiracy that the Buccaneers organization really needed Antonio Brown to play in this game versus the Jets, week 17, when you're already going to the playoffs, I really just...
I think it could stem back
I find that difficult to believe.
It could stem back to like what you were saying, whereas he was complaining all game or prior halftime, bitching, causing a huge storm about not getting receptions. So then they get out there, and then all of a sudden he's saying he's hurt, and Bruce Arians like, dude, like, what are you just caused all this drama, and now you don't want to play?
That's a huge
So he's
point.
like,
yes.
Then fuck, like I'm done dealing with your shit. Because I mean,
yes.
I feel like he's must have dealt with Antonio Brown because it like seems like he was on his last straw at this point. He's
this
like,
is the straw that broke the camel's back.
And they're losing. I mean, they're just not playing good.
Yeah, Arians was definitely not
he's
happy.
Probably
right
just
then.
he's probably just already on edge. And then you got all this bullshit drama. I mean, like the only way to ever find out is if somehow there was like mic'd up, like both of them or someone could get all the convos. But I don't think it's ever. There's no way to ever figure out what.
That is such a bummer in situations like this. You just never know.
Yeah,
you never know. All you do know, really, though, is that AB kind of fucked himself no matter what. He will probably land on a team next year, though. That's so sick that he said looking forward to next season.
Yeah, I wonder what are the odds that a team's already hitting him up.
I think every team is hitting him up. I think the Lions should definitely be hitting him up.
Yeah, then what else? What do they got to fucking lose? They definitely don't.
Jack says, what do you think about them keeping him out to prevent him from hitting incentives for $1 million?
I did. When you said that, I was like, that is a possibility, but I don't think that's even.
Well, you could say that, but he fucked himself for a lot of those games.
Right.
It's technically possible. You can't actually stop a player from playing well. Like, do you know how difficult it is to get 3 touchdowns, 28 receptions, and that many yards in 2 games? The biggest problem with him not getting his incentives is he faked his vaccination card.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. You're not required to get vaccinated in the NFL. He didn't have to go through all that. He just didn't feel like doing the extra steps, which was, number one, he didn't want to get vaccinated. That's fine. If you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get fucked. But the second thing was if you are vaccinated, you get less stringent protocols from the NFL. For example, if you're in contact, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's like if you're in contact with someone who has COVID, you have to go into this protocol for like, let's say it's 4 days. But if you're vaccinated, it's only 2. So AB wanted the benefits of being vaccinated, but he didn't want to get vaccinated. That's why he got fucked for all those games. So I have no opinion on them holding him out for incentives. If he wanted the incentives, he shouldn't have lied about being vaccinated.
Yeah.
He could have gotten them so easily. If he had played all those games, he would have gotten them so easily. I think to wrap this up, I think the most likely scenario is what we were just talking about. I don't think either of them is outright lying. I think AB was bitching about targets, and then later in the game, when his ankle may actually have been hurting, Bruce Arians did not realize that. He thought he was just acting up again. Like, he basically thought Antonio Brown was being passive-aggressive with an injury. I could totally see where Bruce Arians goes, AB, get in the game, but AB's so pissed off. He goes, oh, no, coach, my ankle hurts. My ankle hurts, coach.
Right.
And Bruce Arians is seeing that as, oh, you fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
You're just making this shit up so you don't have to play.
Right.
When in reality, he actually does have the injury. It's the same thing we've been talking about this whole thing, which is boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
If you're being a bitch the whole time, it actually probably is.
Because there's
difficult for your coach
on every single team, I'm not saying it's Antonio Brown, but there's always a player that is, it always seems to be a dude that's super good, but if he like doesn't want to play, he'll just make up some excuse.
Yeah.
And then like coach will start to figure that out, and then it's just like, dude, I'm so done with you. Like,
I'm
it's
gonna be
not even
honest,
worth
bro.
it.
I think that's what Michael Thomas is doing right now. I think Michael Thomas is finessing the fuck out of the Saints. He has been injured for like a year and a half now.
Yeah.
He's been out forever.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
you never really fucking know. Like,
We
it
always see on
stems
here.
like what Lucas just said. AB needs to get his head checked. It's like, I don't know, how do you go about that? Like, what are the steps in
Mm-hmm.
like determining if that actually plays a role? Like, does he go get his brain fucking scanned? Like,
Hey, you can get.
I don't really know.
You can get a CAT scan. You can see how much CT you've had.
yeah, that's just like
It would be really just the most naive thing you could say is that he's fully stable.
right,
There's no way.
right.
There's just no way. And I hope he has a good support system that's working with that.